Stream is live. You looking lost, confused, scared. You must have heard. You must have heard Julio was wasn't happy. Now you scared Odell ain't gonna be happy.
Hey,
y'all scared.
I'm not concerned.
You need to be.
I'm not concerned at any of that.
You should be concerned. You should be very concerned. I mean, with all that going on, Julio gonna lose his mind and be on a boat.
I mean, that has nothing to do with my boy Odell. Odell's good, baby.
I mean, hey, you want to introduce the show, or you don't forget how to do that?
Listen, we're gonna introduce you. Just talking mess, you normally do.
Well, here, let me go ahead and get in. Hey, for all the people out there watching, this is 3 Dream Sports. I'm James. That fool over there is Derek Martin. He think Odell gonna sign for pennies on the dollar, which ain't gonna happen. But today, what are we gonna talk about? What are we gonna talk about today, Derek? Tell the fans. Go ahead.
Hey, today we're continuing our NFL special of going over the divisions. As requested by you, the fans, we're going over the AFC North and South. James, where you want to start? Let me know.
I mean, I feel like let's go ahead and start in the South because, I feel like there's a lot of potential down there. I feel like there's a lot of people who can do big things. I mean, you got Jacksonville. I mean, that defense. I mean, they got Blake Bortles, who I guess he's a quarterback. I think he's a running back sometimes. I mean, you got the Titans. They're doing big things. Marcus Mariota, they finally committed to Derrick Henry.
Right.
Then you got the Colts. I mean, you got Andrew Luck back. Or I think he's back, or he's just doing whatever he's going to do.
I'm concerned about that.
And then you got everybody's favorite, everybody's team. I mean, they're probably the best team in Texas. You got the Houston Texans down there, They got Deshaun coming back from that ACL injury. I mean, we got a lot of potential in here. So let's go ahead. I introduce the teams. You go ahead and pick where we start. Where you want to go?
Hey, let's start with the Colts. How about this? We got Adam Vinatieri coming back for his 100th season.
Can't get mad at the man.
The kicker that never ages. I'm happy for him.
Easiest job in the league.
They decided to pick up Ryan Grant to help him at wide receiver. He made some plays for Washington. Looked like he could possibly help him. We'll see that. I don't know. I don't feel like they got enough to help Luck. No matter whoever's playing quarterback. I mean, running back is Marlon Mack. Last year, 93 attempts, 358 yards, 3 touchdowns. They picked up Eric Ebron. I don't think it's enough, man.
Well, I mean, just going off of that, I think we all know where the Colts really need to focus on. Andrew Luck, the $100 million man, hasn't played in for like how long? I mean, almost 2 years now?
It's been some time.
I mean, even when they were in preseason, they were talking about how excited he was, but he was throwing in college football. I mean, hey, you in the big leagues now. If you need to get back with the program. So that's my concern for the Colts. I feel like that and the ownership. I feel like they need to get that figured out because they don't know what they're doing, and they need Frank Gore. I feel like they should have kept Frank Gore, even though I feel like that dude is he's reliable, and that's what they need. And then
I think that they felt like, okay, we got to get younger. I think they felt the pressure. I did like what they did in the draft. You got to pick up some linemen to try to help protect Luck because obviously he's been banged up more than you want, especially him. He's supposed to be an elite quarterback, so you definitely got to keep him on the field for that.
Luck's been banged up for forever, but I agree with you. They finally got the offensive line figured out. But
yeah, I like the Quentin Nelson pickup from Notre Dame, the offensive guard. And then they also tried to go defensive side in the second round, going linebacker Darius Leonard from South Carolina, linebacker. But I don't think it's enough, man. I'm concerned about the Colts. I got to tell you.
I think everybody is concerned about the Colts. I mean, they just need help.
Yeah.
So I mean. We started in Indy, the combine, where dreams are made. Let's go to the Music City. Let's go out to let's go see what the Titans are up to. How do you feel about them? I mean,
I I like
Oh.
moves they made, man. I like Mike Vrabel as the head coach. I was a fan of him. Of course, it only makes sense that he's able to bring in New England guys. He gets
True.
Deion Lewis to come. He gets Butler to come to help the defensive side. I like it, man. Corey Davis, there was a lot of hype about him last year at receiver. Hopefully he's able to stay healthy this year for him. I liked the moves that they're making.
Okay, so you like the moves. What about the draft picks? Because I feel like, draft picks make or break your team, because if you hit a home run like we've seen people do, like with Camaro in New Orleans, you
Right.
can get a great player for the low.
For me, it made sense for Mike Vrabel, defensive guy. He went defense. What'd he do? He brings in Evans from Alabama, linebacker. In that second round, brings in Harold Landry from Boston, another linebacker. So I think he's trying to get his defense established. What's the saying everyone says? Defense wins championships.
You're
So
old, son. You're
I think
old.
that's the mindset.
First off, let that old school saying go. Everybody know the offense is what puts people in the stands.
Hey, that's right. It puts them in the stands, but hey,
I guess what you're trying to say is if the defense can't keep the other team from scoring, that keeps the fans out the stands, that get them towards the exit.
Hey man, you got to be able to stop the ball. Especially, listen, the defense in this division is only getting better. We got Jacksonville, Texans trying to make a competitive defense.
Wait a minute.
It makes sense. It makes sense that they went this way.
Excuse me, sir. Did you say Houston is trying to make a competitive defense?
Yeah, I said, let's go to Houston. I did say trying. I did say trying, and the reason I say trying is the fact of health. I think health is big in Houston all over on the offensive side and defense, but it seems like every year someone that's a key player is down. It's hard. It's hard to...
We've also seen that J.J. Watt is like the heart and soul of that defense, and he's been the best player on that side of the ball forever. I mean, since he's been in the league. And I think they're finally starting to see that production that they want from Clowney, because I remember, if everybody remembers the hit he put on that Michigan player, popped his helmet off, it was beautiful. And I feel like we're starting to see that from him. He's starting to establish himself. But the reason why I took offense to you saying they're trying to build a defense, because when you go get the Honey Badger, that lets me know you're established, because I feel like the Honey Badger only goes to places that he knows he can do something. He can do big things with.
But here's my thing about that. I love the Honey Badger, man.
Don't you
I was
say
hoping
anything
he'd
bad
come
about
to New
him.
York. There was hype about it. What's the thing about him? Health. He's another player that deals with health issues. I don't know. Is he going to be healthy all year? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to look like. When he's healthy, obviously, he's an animal. The dude's unreal. He's going to be a big plus. Something to think about, too. If healthy, this is how big of an impact he can have. The secondary ranked 24th in the league, compared to Jacksonville's number 1. I think you throw Honey Badger in there, you get J.J. Watt, Clowney, these dudes all running at the quarterback and playing. I think that changes that, but are they going to be on the field, at the end of the day? J.J. Watt, obviously a big part of what this team does on the defense. He is Houston. He is Texas. Everyone loves him. They respect him for his donations, everything. The dude is awesome. He's loved, but, I mean, it's not going to give him W's if this team's injured. And the Texans, another thing I love about them, I love their offense, to be honest. I'm huge on Deshaun Watson. He was blowing up, killing it. Gets injured. Once again, it kills him. He's got the weapons. Receivers, you got Hopkins, Will Fuller. He's got
well, here's the thing.
Running back, you got Lamar Williams. Lamar Williams there. Can he stay healthy?
Well, with Fuller, I like him as a receiver, but I just feel like he's hit or miss. There's some plays that I feel like he can make that he just doesn't. Like, I've seen a lot of deep balls. Like, that was his problem in college. The deep balls he would catch every once in a while, but there was the ones where he would just get lost. Like, you could see, like, I don't know if he lost it in the air or if he just, like, didn't have the concentration, but there's been a lot of drop balls on his side, and I think he needs to clean that up before we start like really filling the Houston receivers, because we all know what Hopkins is going to do. He's going to go out there, he's going to ball out.
Well, like I said, the key for me, even with that though, is the health. I mean, is Watson going to be able to bounce back? You know, that's key. Is Miller going to be on the field? That's going to be a key. That's my main concern for Houston.
Okay, I can agree with that. I mean, but what I'm excited to see is, I think, is this the first year Houston's going to have like the same starting quarterback? Because I feel like every other year it's been somebody else.
Yeah, that's exciting, man. They got pieces there. It's exciting. Well, how about Jacksonville? How you feeling about Jacksonville, man? I know that's your new favorite team. You believe in their quarterback more than your own. Talk to me.
Whoa, sir. I'm going to need you to calm down with all that craziness, because there's people watching. I don't want anybody to call the cops on you saying my friend Derek Martin needs help. You know, they already going, hey, they can still hit Sunday service and pray for you. So we're going to go ahead and say that.
Wow.
But I believe in Blake Bortles, but I don't believe in him enough to pick him in fantasy football. I might free agent pick him up. But they've done the right thing. Hey, isn't your boy Tom Coughlin down there?
TC, baby, he behind the scenes. You know, he's behind the scenes. Yeah, I want to see it. I want to see it. They obviously believe in Fournette. They let Chris Ivory walk. They let Hearns, Robinson go. They lock up Marcus Lee. So, I want to see it. You're going to have two new receivers starting for them. I want to see it. We got a fan here, Jeremy Anderson. I wonder if O'Brien is the problem in Houston and not the team.
So,
well, Jeremy, going back real quick to what we were saying, I don't think O'Brien's the issue. No matter who the coach is, if these guys aren't staying healthy, I mean, everyone says the next man up, but I mean, when you're playing Jacksonville twice, you know, we just talked about how they got the defense. They were ranked number 1 as far as their secondary. That's tough for the backup quarterback to go against, and you know, your whole defense is beat up. Like, that's tough. I don't think it's necessarily O'Brien. No, I wouldn't go that far. I think it's just a matter of being on the field for these guys.
And to add in on something to that last fan's question about O'Brien, I think his problem is he's been wanting a quarterback that he desperately wanted to like install an offense around, because if you think about it, he's had Savage, he's had, you know, a whole bunch of other no-name quarterbacks, and then even they let him draft a quarterback that he thought was the one, and that didn't work out. And I finally feel like with Deshaun Watson, he's got the quarterback he can work with, and this might be the time where we see the great offensive mind that everybody claims him to be. But back to Jacksonville, I feel like with them, they did it right. They're building the defense because I think they've accepted that Blake Bortles is a serviceable quarterback. He's not going to lose the game for us, but we're not going to be able to say, hey, fourth quarter, here you go win the game. But, I mean, think about it. You got Jalen Ramsey on the outside, A.J. Boye on the outside. I mean, that right there is 2 lockdown corners. And
well, don't forget, they believe something. I mean, they locked him in this year. They signed him. They gave him a contract, so they believe in something. There's something there. I mean,
they know what they believe in? They believe in hopes, dreams, and a defense, because that's all they got. I mean,
man, it's tough. It's tough.
I mean, at least
their draft too, man. They stayed on the defense in the first round. Defensive tackle Taylor Bryant, Florida kid. I mean, of course, it only makes sense, right? Florida teams love to draft the Florida kids. Second round, they went receiver, being that they lost their 2. DJ Chark, wide receiver LSU. How do you feel about these draft picks?
So for me, the Florida pick, I feel like he was a solid pick. You probably saw him more than I did. I only got to see him when they played. You know, once the SEC season rolled around and they started getting the bigger games, that's the only time I really got to see him. With Shark, I'm concerned because he's an LSU receiver. You know, not knocking them. You know, they usually make it to the league and they do big things. But still, if anybody's an LSU fan out there, you know that offense was a mess. They've had a lot of five-star receivers that didn't pan out until they got to the league, and then I think the league was also afraid of drafting them. But I think he's in that. Sharks going to that same situation. Unstable quarterback. Will we see what he can really do? Or will he be one of those guys that plays out his rookie contract, catches on with somebody else, and blows up? I mean, not everybody can be Odell, which is just amazing. I mean, hey, that's okay. Y'all got lucky. Y'all got lucky with him. But hey,
stop it.
He can come down there and play with Blake. I mean, Blake might be better than Eli.
I don't see that. So let's talk about it. What do you see? How you see this division playing out this year? What do you see prediction-wise?
So, I mean, last year you got the Jaguars going 10-6, Titans going 9-7, Colts going 4-12, Texans going 4-12 too. I'm gonna start from the bottom. You know, started from the bottom. Now I'm here. You know, Drake made that famous anyways. But I don't see the Texans going 4-12 again. I see the Texans at least. I say they go 500, and I say they go 8-8. With the Colts, I see them sticking with that 4-12 record or 5-11. I don't see much change from them just because you got a franchise quarterback that you can't protect, and you just don't know what's going to go on. I mean, with Jacksonville and the Titans go 10-6. You know, I like Marcus Mariota. I'm willing to put my name on it, bet on him. You know, I made sure the money was in the right account. Don't have to switch it over. I'm betting on Marcus. And I see the Jaguars, since I feel like they're gonna make the Super Bowl. You heard that here. Jaguars make the Super Bowl. Throwing it out there.
Wow.
I say Jaguars go 12-4 or 13-3, and I feel like. I'm even gonna say this. I feel like Blake Bortles might be in the dark horse MVP of the year, you know, MVP candidate. Since I'm betting on him, I'm gonna bet all the way. I mean, what you got? You feel like I feel like you're looking down. You're like, Lord, I got to talk about this dude.
I'm looking at my notes too, and I'm just trying to figure out. You know, I agree with you on some of the stuff, but I'm a little confused.
Okay, well, do the math for me.
Let me start at the bottom like you did. Let me start with these Colts, and I agree. I'm concerned about them, and not just the weapon-wise, because I brought up that I don't think it's enough there. Even on their defense, it's not enough all across. But are we getting the same luck back that we seen a couple of years ago when we were like, this dude's certified killer. He could go out here, go against the top quarterbacks in the competition, your Tom Brady's, Aaron Rodgers, and actually win the game. Are we getting him back? Is he going to be on the field at all? I don't know. For that reason, I also give them around the same record of 5 wins as well. Depending on the situation, I want to range that. You know, if he's there, I can see them being a 500 team. You know, it truly depends. Whoa. And then my next team, if Andrew Luck's there, I can see it. I don't think that defense, though, is going to be enough. I think that's where they run into problems. So it depends on the quarterback situation and how that plays out.
So you really trust Luck in his shoulder?
What's that?
I said you really gonna trust Luck in that shoulder?
Well, that's why I said I got him as a 5-win team. But if Luck's there, I think he could get him to the 500 if he's there.
Sir, I'm gonna stop interrupting you. I'm gonna go ahead and call somebody to come check on you.
Well, I appreciate you putting respect on it.
Okay, I'm gonna put some respect on it. Let's move on. What else you got?
Texans is a similar situation. I see them also dealing with the health issues. You know, everyone over there has handicapped parking stickers, and I don't think the parking lot has enough parking spots for them. I'm concerned. That's another team that I could see also going 500, depending on their health. Maybe 1 or 2 games above it, but I see them right there in the mix for 500 as well. Titans, I don't know. I love Mariota. I'm a big Mariota fan. In fact, I thought Tampa Bay made the mistake going Winston over Mariota. He's had less weapons than Winston and has been to the playoffs, you know, where Mariota, we don't know if he's stealing crab legs, taking advantage of his Uber driver.
Sir,
we don't know
Winston. You mean Winston. Don't put that bad juju on Mariota.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm sorry. Did I say Mariota? I
You
meant to
said
say I was saying that I like Mariota more than Winston. I thought that Tampa Bay should have drafted Mariota. I'm sorry if I mixed the names up.
Well, everybody.
I thought Tampa should have won him. But either way, I think the Titans, I like the pieces they picked up. I like Dion coming over to help them at running back because Henry looked shaky when they gave him the nod to me, to be honest. I didn't like him too much. I'm going to give them 9 wins. I'm going to give them 9.
So wait a minute, back up. You don't trust Derrick Henry as a lead back? You don't trust him as
I don't know.
RB1?
I got to see more. I have to see more. I got to see more. That's all I'm going to say. I thought he struggled at times, and he didn't look that great to me. And I mean, if they believed in him, do they really bring in Dion Lewis? If they were, so confident, we seen Dion Lewis make the explosive plays coming out of the backfield. So I'm concerned.
Okay, so let me guess. You got Jacksonville going undefeated, 16-0, winning everything.
I have the Jags winning this division, not everything. Yeah. I don't have them winning the Super Bowl like you.
Wow.
But I'm going to give the Jags, I'm going to put respect on them. I got them winning their 12 games. I think their defense will carry them. I think that's where I go with them. We got some fans talking here. Let's see. Houston has a better D than 8-8 if Watt is healthy. The additions of Honey Badger is definitely an upgrade. Well, Carlos, that's what I've been betting on right here is health. Is Watt going to be healthy? Is Honey Badger going to be there? I don't know. I don't trust that. Henry got better. He will be a horse this season. Yeah, but in the playoffs, he looked like he struggled to me against a team that's not that great on the defense. They weren't known. This is Bortles last year in Jacksonville. No, he signed a contract this year. He signed it in the offseason. They locked him in.
They put spec on his name and said, "We like what you can do. We like how you do it." So,
hey, Jeremy, don't hold me to this, but I want to say the contract was for 4 years. Don't hold me to that, but I want to say they locked him in for 4 more years. So,
well, let's.
I think James is going to check that out for you guys, but you're going to see Bortles in Jacksonville for a few more. Hey, they believe in him, I guess. So
for the fan who was asking about the Bortles contract, they gave him 3 years, $54 million. I mean,
okay, so it was 3. Okay,
still 3 years, $54 million. Yeah. You're still that's still like, hey, we're betting on you. We don't see you as a franchise quarterback, but we don't see you as somebody who's going to lose the game for us. So 3 years, $54 million. That's a pretty penny to drop on somebody.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right, James. I want to throw something out there. Moving real quickly to the AFC North. I think it's only right we talk about the new. That's right. I said the new America's favorite team. This is America's team, the Cleveland Browns. Please talk to me about them.
So here's the thing. I like what Cleveland did this year. I like how they used their cap space. They didn't go out there and just start paying people unnecessary money. I felt like they actually went in there and they thought about it. They brought in Landry. I mean, great receiver, another LSU kid, finally doing big things. They went out and get him, but they didn't give him we're going to give you like 1 year, $300 million. Like they were smart with it. I like the fact that they brought in Tyrod Taylor as a quarterback. I mean, in Buffalo, I felt like he never really got a fair shot. I mean, when you start a rookie over him and the rookie goes out there and throws for 10 interceptions and then you bring him in there and he's like, he does his thing and they at least gets him close. I think they might have won that game. I felt like they didn't put respect on him, but I like the move for Cleveland. It gives you a chance to let Baker Mayfield learn how to play the game, maybe slow it down for him. What I'm concerned is, I don't know if anybody's seen pictures of Baker. He looks kind of...
I was just going to ask you, how you feel about the man, he's got a new nickname, Baker may be making bacon cookies. I don't know if you've seen them.
I've seen Baker from the side. I mean, the camera had to zoom out a little bit, just a little bit to get them all in there, looking like Jameis Winston, kind of hefty, looking like Jamarcus Russell, hey, doing it big. Hey, I ain't mad at him.
Nah, absolutely. He got money to eat now.
So stop it. He ain't living on that college money. But that's, I hope that was like an old picture that somebody photoshopped him in. But if that's truly what Baker looks like, I feel like they're in trouble. I feel like they should have taken somebody else. Because if you're the number one pick and you already look like you're eating people out of house and home, maybe eating children too,
yeah,
that concerns me. But what I don't understand is the Denzel Ward cornerback pick. I felt like you've got Mika on the board. You got Mika Fitzpatrick on the board. You've got Derwin James on the board. There were so many game changers on the board, and you take Denzel Ward. Now, if we got any Ohio State fans out there, I'm not knocking him. I saw the way he played. He's a great press corner, did his thing, but you're Cleveland. You need, like, all the highest rated players you're going to get in Madden. Like, you need all of them. And I just feel like they could have done something better right there. Or they could have taken a different quarterback at one. But I guess time will tell.
We got some fans. I'm sorry to cut you off. We got some fans talking about it right now. But Saquon should have been the first pick instead of Hyde being the number one running back for him. Mayfield still would have been there.
I agree with that. To that fan, I totally agree with you. I felt like Barkley was as everybody's been saying, the generational player. Like that guy that's going to make you watch the game. He's going to make you tune in. He's going to be that guy that puts people in the stands. He's going to be that constant, just that great player. And I felt like, to that fan, excellent point. You take Barkley at one, Baker's going to be there. Or even if he's not, you still got Rosen to take. You could have even, if they felt froggy about it, took Allen from Wyoming. I mean, or they could have took Darnold. I mean, there's plenty of options. But hey, live, you learn, and I guess we're going to see what they do.
Here's to respond to the fan. I agree Saquon should have been the number one pick. I will say that. But I'm okay with the Hyde move. I like Hyde. I think that he's had a good career for what he's had to work with when you think about it. I think I like the Mayfield pick, though. I did like that for the simple fact that he was my favorite quarterback out of this class, and it came down to the Georgia game. I like the way when things got tough, he showed that he can become all business, even though they didn't win the game. He turned it up when he had to. He pushed the overtime. It just didn't play out for him. As far as Mayfield still being on the board, I'm not 100% sold on that. And here's why. The Patriots announced after the draft that they were willing to do whatever it took to move up to get him. So, I mean, they had draft picks to play with. It's possible that at that point the Giants would have been interested, depending if they were willing to break the bank. So the Patriots were definitely looking to get Mayfield if he was still there. I don't know that he would have been there at the number 4 slot. I also agree with you, James, going on that I really thought they were going Fitzpatrick. I thought it made sense for them to get him. I thought, for me, he was my favorite DB in the class. But also, you had a chance to get Chubb to put him on the other side of your defensive line. That would have been tough right there.
I mean,
that would have been hard to deal with. I mean,
him and Garrett.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I'm saying. That would have been a nasty matchup. Something else they're gonna have to deal with. And granted, they could definitely fix this, but it's sad. Joe Thomas is gone. He's retired. I love the Tyrod pick, though. I think Tyrod's gonna buy them time, even with Mayfield baking his cookies, gaining his weight. It's not a concern for me. I think for me, I like Tyrod. He doesn't turn the ball over. He doesn't. His interceptions are low. He's going to be able to move it. You get Landry. You got Gordon there, Coleman, Hyde, who I like, and they have Chubbs as a running back who is no slouch. That's a big dude. He will hit you. He's not afraid to punch you in the mouth. He'll put his helmet down. I like the pickup. So I like the moves they did. I thought their 4th pick in the first round, I thought that was more of a gamble as far as the DBs. But I like the way this team's going. Here's something to look at. So they averaged 14.6 points last year. That was rated 32nd. That's not going to happen this year.
No, I don't think it'll happen either. But I mean, you know, as much as I love Cleveland, as much as I want to give them as much love as possible, because, you know, Cleveland fans still heartbroken about LeBron, we got to move on. You know where I want to go? Let's go hang out with Big Red in Cincinnati. Let's go hang out with Marvin Lewis, the only man who can somehow still have his job after everything. I want his job security. Go ahead and talk to me about Cincinnati, because you sighed, you sat back, you felt like you want to lay it on me. Go ahead, man. We here to listen for you.
First off, shout out to the real one, Pac-Man. He's gone, but listen.
Fighting people in the airport.
Pac-Man's real. I love that dude. He's something crazy. I don't know, man. It's the same story every year with Cincinnati. Like, I feel like literally we're watching the same show with them on repeat every year. What a surprise. Burfict suspended 4 games.
Yep.
You know, there's drama always around this team. You bring in Lewis, we're going to sign him for 2 years, which I don't think anyone's seen. When he took the time off in the middle of the season, I think everyone assumed he's done. I don't think anyone thought that, okay, you take time off. You know what? I'm going to give you 2 more years. What?
I mean, how many people would have thought of that? You know, thought that he would still have his job. I mean, just take a job, take a couple of weeks off, and come back. But
I don't get it. So, speaking about Marvin, let me throw this at you. So, the dude has been there for 15 years, right? He's got 15 years. 7 of those years, he's had a winning record, right? Never won a playoff game. I don't know how y'all feel. I'm not a fan of those numbers, you know?
I also think it comes down to Andy Dalton. I mean,
shout out to the dog, by the way. That's a beautiful dog.
Well, you know, she figured we need more people to watch, so she figured she's going to come do her thing.
I love it.
But Andy Dalton, why is he still the quarterback? Like, why is he still doing his thing?
That's tough.
Because I'm not knocking Andy. He's a good quarterback, but you haven't done anything for me. And that's what surprises me, because the league is, what have you done for me lately? And he hasn't done anything. I mean, the closest I've seen Cincinnati be a contender is when Carson Palmer was there, but he got hurt like the first playoff game, blew his knee out. And then after that, Cincinnati was just kind of a mess.
Well, Cincinnati, the one thing I know I had a bunch of guys in Cincinnati, or that are Cincinnati fans, tell me they were excited about, is they drafted Billy Price, center from Ohio State. They're super excited about that. Everyone was praising him. So they like that move. But once again, I'm not a believer in Dalton. You've got one of the top receivers. You know,
shout out to AJ Green doing his thing.
Yeah, you had this running back by committee, but they're all, for the most part, they're decent. No, I'm not saying any of them are top, but they're decent. And Andy just doesn't get it done. We got some feedback coming from the fans real quick. Is Baltimore's division to lose? Well, Lamar Jackson is the starter by the end of the season. You should let the dog talk. I don't believe in Pittsburgh. Cincinnati finishes last. Marvin gets fired this season. So let's talk about all that. Is this Baltimore's division?
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, the dog said, nah, can't get on the mic. But I don't think it's theirs to lose. I mean, okay, let's head to Baltimore. Let's go ahead and head to Baltimore, because I feel like that fan wants us to talk about the Lamar Jackson, Joe Flacco type situation. I honestly don't see Lamar making it. To that fan, Lamar will be the starter at the end of the season, because Baltimore will have nothing to play for, and they'll start getting him in there, starting to see what he can do. My concern with that whole situation is, do they start using Jackson for gimmick plays? If they start doing that, that stunts his growth. That doesn't legitimize him as a quarterback. That makes him kind of Lamar's on the field. He's probably going to run, and you take away that ability for him. I saw a couple of videos on Facebook, him out there throwing dimes and stuff like that. But here's the thing: the Ravens have had so many chances to get rid of Joe Flacco, but they keep signing him. He's almost like on the Andy Dalton contract.
I think that's done. I think they're dead with that, brother. I don't think that's even a concern.
Oh, so
check it out, man. I think you don't trade up, yeah, they traded up from the second round to get this guy at the end of the first. You don't do that to get a quarterback to just ride the bench the whole time. I'm not saying I think he starts this year. I think they're going to give Flacco, he is the veteran that lets Lamar grow a little bit, study, and whatnot. But I think the fact that they traded with the Eagles to move up to get this pick, I think this is them saying, look, the pressure's on you. This is the way we're heading, brother. I mean, you got Crabtree there to help now. You let Danny Woodhead go, Macklin. I like the way the team's going, but I'm not convinced that it's the team or the Baltimore this is their division. Pittsburgh always been around. I don't see them changing that.
But before we head up to Pittsburgh, let's give a quick shout out to Ozzie Newsome. This was his last draft.
Yeah.
Let's just look at some. He got Ray Lewis, he got Ogden. He got a lot of Hall of Fame players and stuff like that. Shout out to him. Hopefully he watches this because we shouted him out and he sends us some free stuff because I could always use free tickets. Maybe
I'll take it.
Free plane tickets also because I can't afford to fly out there. Hit me with the free plane tickets too. But quick shout out to him. But like you said, this is Pittsburgh's division to lose. I mean, when has Pittsburgh not been good in this division? I feel like it's always been up to them to lose it. I mean, what they got, they've got some drama going on. They've got some issues. I mean, but still, you've got Antonio Brown. You've got Big Ben. And I mean, just those two alone seem to always make something happen. I know we forgot to throw out the draft picks for the Ravens real quick. I know they drafted a tight end who was like 25 years old and stuff like that.
Hayden Hurst from South Carolina.
Maybe a player after Ozzie else. They could have got something better for that. But anyways, we'll clean that up at the end. But let's go to Pittsburgh. Talk to me. What's going on up there? Because it seems like the wheels are falling off slowly.
All right, so here's the thing. We all know how they're treating Le'Veon Bell and the mess. That's easy to talk about. Before we get there, I want to talk about something that I actually liked that Pittsburgh did do, and I respect it, and I was actually impressed with it. So last year, I think everyone remembers the nasty contact, the hit with Shazier, where pretty much ended his season, possibly his career. What Pittsburgh went and did is they agreed to convert $8.26 million of his $8.71 base pay for this season coming up into a signing bonus. So he's going to get paid $8.26 when he signed that. He got that immediately. So that was awesome of that organization taking care of a dude who, went out there, played these games for them. They wanted him to be a star, and he might not even be able to, play again. So I thought that was a class act of the organization as far as that. Now, the Bell stuff, I'm not a fan of that. I think you got to pay this dude. This guy runs the ball for you. He catches it. When Big Ben's in a situation, you can count on Bell when you're going against your Jacksonville and you can't pass to anyone because it's a tough game because we've seen Big Ben struggle. You can count on Le'Veon to make a move to get you the yards and whatnot. So I think you got to pay him. They picked up Stephen Ridley, who he had a good little run with the New England.
Everybody has a good little run. I mean, they go to New England and they just look beautiful.
Though, you don't draft a running back 2 years ago and then pick up another veteran who's decent. You don't just do it for no reason. So I think that they weren't fair that maybe they're not going to get the deal done.
But since we're talking about the running back situation, they did draft Connor out of Pitt, last year. And I've heard that.
By the way, he also is another player for them that's got a feel-good story with him beating cancer and killing it his last college year. I don't know if you guys know too much about that. He annihilated it. I was happy for that dude. Congratulations on him even making it.
But I mean, they did. I'm gonna throw this out there to the fans. I'm gonna let them kind of debate this and then tell me what you think. Do you think they drafted Connor with the idea that Bell might pull some stuff like I don't want to play this year, the money's not right, and do you think that Pittsburgh says, you know what, we don't need you, we got Connor,
Mm.
and they let him walk, and they're just like, hey, or they trade him? So fans, let me know. Does Pittsburgh sign Bell, trade him, or let him walk? That's for you guys to figure out. Let me know what you think.
Well, here a fan has a statement for you. Bell is a better version of Falk.
I mean, that's saying a lot because Marshall was the man. I mean, I'm not going to go that far because to me, Marshall was a special player. I feel like Bell's in the same category, but it's just one of those things where, I mean, if you grew up watching The Greatest Show on Turf, you knew how deadly Falk was coming out the backfield. You knew it. But to that fan, I'll say this. Maybe we can agree on this. Le'Veon Bell is this generation's Marshall Falk because
I agree.
He has changed the running back game. You see more people trying to do that pause, that jump cut or that pause where they almost come to a complete stop, wait for everything to develop, and then go. You see a lot of players trying to do that now. So if that fan can agree with me, if not, let me know what you think. Bell is this generation's Marshall Falk, and that's how I feel about that one. I'm not going to say who's better because I feel like we're getting into the Jordan-LeBron debate again.
Mm. Some things they did. Let's see. They drafted Terrell Edmond, safety from Virginia. Second round, they went James Washington, wide receiver. And how about this? This pick caused apparently some drama, just like Baltimore going quarterback Mason Rudolph from Oklahoma State. And there was the talks. Big Ben sitting here saying, oh, I'm not going to help him develop because I'm the guy. He's competition. I didn't like that. Bro, stop it. Stop it. Your time's coming to an end. You had a great career. Stop.
But to bring up something like, maybe not as bad, but if you remember, Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers kind of went through the same thing. Favre kind of gave him the cold shoulder and said, figure it out on your own. And then they pushed Favre out, and Aaron Rodgers did what he did. But, I mean, I can understand it. I can see why you would see it as petty. But I just kind of see it as, like, you know what? We all know Big Ben's time is coming. Because every other year, because it's almost like every year now he talks about retirement, or he doesn't know if he's going to play. So I felt like Pittsburgh said, like, you know what? If you're going to retire, do it. We don't need you. The Mason Rudolph pickup, I'm a little sketchy about because he played at Oklahoma State. That was a wide open offense. I mean, the kid was throwing up 500 yards every game, had great receivers. I don't know how many.
Still going to have great receivers.
But here's the thing, though. That reminds me of Florida quarterbacks. When Spurrier was running it. Great offense. Everybody's like, oh, they're the great quarterbacks. And then they get to the league and you're kind of like, well, what was it? Was it the system? Or was it you had great talent? Or what happened? Like, where's that drop off? And that's what I'm afraid of that they're going to see with him. It's going to be you had a great system that allowed you to maybe read half the field or only read one receiver and throw it. But we'll see.
All right, so talk to me so we know we can talk about some other stuff we want to get off our chest. Talk to me about what happened with this division, how you see them playing out this year.
I'm going to start from the top because we started from the bottom. I still see the Steelers winning it. I'm giving them 12-4, or at least 11-5, but they still win it. The Ravens, I'm going to be nice. I'm going to say 10-6. The Bengals, I don't see them doing anything special again this year. If they make the playoffs, it's because somebody felt bad. I mean, gambling got involved. Somebody had to pay somebody. I see them keeping the same record, 7-9, maybe 8-8. Maybe they squeak, they get a lucky game. But here we go. Cleveland Browns. They win 5 games this year.
Okay.
I'm giving them 5 games. Talk to me.
Um, I'll start at the top like you did. I agree. I see Pitt winning it, but I'm concerned about the Le'Veon Bell situation. Is he going to play at all, or is he going to come half season? Connor, to me, hasn't improved much. I like the kid. Like I said, his story's a feel-good story. The defense still needs work. They're young. They're raw. They're not what they used to be. So I'm going to give them 11 wins this year.
Okay.
Right. I think it's going to be a tough 11. You know.
That's respectable.
Next, I'm going to go. I agree with you. I'm going to go Baltimore. I think Baltimore can come in second. I think they got enough there. They're more established as far as these other teams, as far as competing. I'm going to go and say, man, I don't know. I think that 10 was a little generous, man. I don't know if they get the 10. I like the fact that they got Crabtree. I like the fact that they got a tight end to help them. But I'm going to go one under. I'll give them the 9 wins instead. My third place team this year, coming in at 500, I think it's the Browns. I think they can win half of these games. I think it's possible that they sweep Cincy. I think they're going to take one from Baltimore. You know, so, hey, I think one more winning, you're halfway to that 8. I think they can possibly do it. I think that offense has enough firepower where they're going to be able to put up the points, and it's going to be a lot for teams.
Okay.
You know, of course, it's going to be a matter of if their timing comes down and whatnot. But I see them as an 8 team, and I see Cincinnati, this mess team. And this is more of me just not showing respect because Marvin Lewis hasn't showed me nothing, and Dalton is still not showing me something. So I'm going to say, and I feel like this could possibly be being generous, I'm going to give them 6 wins, possibly 8 as well in the middle of the pack. But I'm going to give them 6.
Okay, wow. Well, I mean, we done talked about the AFC North and South. I mean, I think it's time to where we get to the hard-hitting questions. We get what's going. Let's just throw this out there. Let's just kind of get this figured out. What's going on in Atlanta with Julio? I mean,
yeah, man, this is the stuff right here that affects fantasy football.
Yes,
and we
sir.
love that here. You know, let's talk about this. Fans, please feel free to ask questions, chime in. We'll get your stuff out there. But how do y'all feel about the Julio Jones, man?
I mean, big ups to the commish over there. Derek Martin got 2 leagues going. Look on Everything Sports.
Working on 3. Trying to get a third.
He's got a 3rd one going. Great commish. If you want to have fun, you want to have a great time playing fantasy football, hit up Everything Sports. Check out the page. The links are posted.
Got 2 trophy leagues and a money league. Just, make sure you hit us up. We'll get you in there.
Yes, sir. But, I mean, this makes things interesting because if Julio is unhappy, where do you draft him at? Is he still a first-round talent? Do you still take him the first round of your draft? Because
Jeremy Anderson said Marvin gets fired, and for you fans, how do y'all feel about that? Do you go Julio Jones or Le'Veon Bell in the first round still in fantasy football, knowing that their contracts are, up in the airs, guys might hold out? How do you feel about that? Oh, here we go. Jeremy Anderson says Julio signs. What? Okay, Julio signs, but is gone next year. San Francisco gets big wide receiver they need. Oh, prediction on that. Okay.
Wow, I like that. I mean, that would be, well, I guess Kyle Shanahan makes sense. He goes out there, kicks it with him. Him and Jimmy G do big things.
Wow. I mean, I like it for him.
I mean,
for me,
go ahead.
How do you feel, James? Would you draft either him or Bell in the first round?
If I have the last pick and I go back-to-back, yes, because I feel like I can take Julio and then I can still save myself with that first pick in the next round. And then if worse comes to worse, I take Julio and then I trade him. I find somebody who's desperate enough to say, hey, we need a receiver, or my team needs a receiver. I need a decent flex. And maybe I can get a quarterback, a good running back. Maybe I find maybe I get Kamara, like this year's Kamara in the trade, and I look like a genius.
Okay.
I mean, go ahead, you talk.
What about Bell? What would you do with Bell? Where do you fall? Where does he fall in the draft?
I'm scared. I'm scared to draft Bell just because, one, he seems to get hurt or suspended for at least a couple of games.
Oh, yeah.
That scares me. Then with him threatening to sit out, that scares me also, because what if he shows up and he's like, hey, I wanted 20 touches. You gave me 18. I'm sitting at the house. I'll see you. So for me, if I can get Bell in the third round, I'm taking him. Bell's a third round back.
So you wait on him.
I wait on him, and if somebody takes him in front of me, I'm not upset. I'm not, throwing my computer across the room. I'm hoping that as a fan of the NFL, as a fan of Bell, he has a good year. That's what it comes down to for me. If I don't draft him, I hope he has a good year, and I hope you don't get him either. But I ain't got to worry about that because I'm taking Saquon before you. So, ha.
Here's my thing. Okay, I can agree. I think Julio is definitely he's got a better shot at playing than Bell.
Yes.
So I think it is definitely the less the risk. I mean, Atlanta's definitely said some stuff, and he's been training with T.O. They didn't like it, and it does seem a little awkward, but I definitely think one way or another we see him on the field this season. I don't see him missing time. So I agree with you as far as the drafting him in the first round. But if he's not there, and I have the last pick, I kind of flip that on you. If I have the back-to-back situation or the last couple of picks, I'm okay with getting a top running back. If Zeke's there, or if I can get myself Saquon, someone that's projected to go off the wall. In the next couple of picks, I'm willing to take that risk in the second round for Le'Veon, because I think at the end of the day, I think he will be there, but I wouldn't go first round. I think for me, I can see him. I'm willing to take a risk in the second round on him.
Okay.
I would do it. We got a fan asking real quick, does Dez get signed before the season, before it starts?
You want to go ahead and hit that one up? Because I'm going to let you go ahead and talk on that one.
I don't know. There's been talk about him possibly coming to the Giants. I don't like the fact that he turned down guaranteed money. There was a contract already lined up for him to go to Baltimore, be the dude. If he goes, who knows? They might not even go after Crabtree. So, I don't know. I think he hurt himself doing that. It's going to depend. Before the season, there's a lot of stuff happening. Preseason, we got the training. Obviously, players always get hurt. So I think he gets a shot. I'm going to say yes. I'll go as far as that. He'll be picked up before the season. Someone's bound to get hurt, miss a little time, even if it's minor and it's just a couple of weeks, and someone says, you know what, Dez is my best option.
So I'm going to disagree with you. I don't think Dez will get picked up before the season. I feel like Dez will be a mid-season pickup. I say Dez gets signed by at least week 5.
Okay.
Because by then, guys, because there's always, I don't wish this on anybody. I don't wish anybody to get hurt, but it always happens. Somebody bangs up a knee. And then, they say, okay, hey, they'll be back by week 6. And then you realize, okay, hey, they're not. And then that's where he gets picked up. I feel like he gets picked up as an injury. Okay, we're not going to get our top guy back. But then again, where does he go? Like, what teams is he looking at? Because if he doesn't have a accurate quarterback,
I don't think he really even cares at this point. The team, his concern was he didn't want multiple years. He wants a 1-year opportunity where he can show what he can do and then go all in on himself. So with that, for me, I want to say real quick, touching on that, I think the NFL needs to go the NBA style with these contracts. I think they're causing more headache for themselves. They're hurting players. I mean, let's talk about this real quick. So today we seen Saquon. He signed his contract, right, for the Giants. He got signed today.
How much did he get?
He got I want to say off for guaranteed it's like 20 and then a signing bonus of 15. So that automatically puts him in like top tier running back talk. I think that needs to change. Yeah. I think what they need to do is let's organize it so we have our super max players, our max players, and then role players in a sense. And
Okay.
I'm just using terms such as how the NBA does, and this would set it up so. Okay, Odell, Julio, Bell. We know these are super max guys.
Okay.
We don't got a question. There is no, Mike Evans just got paid this $80 million, so now Odell's got to compete with this, and then the running backs aren't getting paid. So where do I pay Le'Veon Bell, even though he's a top running back that we haven't seen in a long time? Do I pay him this high or do I not? Let's get away from this. That would fix the quarterback market because like you just threw out Blake Bortles' contract. That's ridiculous money for only 3 years. Okay, that's ridiculous. So now we get more balance in the quarterback. I think they should do something similar to how the NBA has their contract set up.
That makes sense. I feel like you're right. They've got to figure out the quarterback thing first, and then they figure out the quarterback market because people getting guaranteed contracts in the quarterback market just upset everybody. Kirk Cousins has made, because I know in an earlier podcast I mentioned Aaron Rodgers' contract. He's out of guaranteed money. Now he's just playing for the love of the game. Can you imagine the contract Aaron Rodgers is about to get?
Oh, man.
I mean, now that he has that chip Kirk Cousins got guaranteed money and he hasn't won anything.
Nothing.
I won one Super Bowl. That should guarantee me at least, $80 million off rip right there. And then everything else I've done for you. What fans got something to say?
Yeah, we got a fan breaking news. They're gonna draft Colt McCoy, calling dibs on him.
Draft who?
Colt McCoy.
Okay, the pack. We need to get the quarterback market figured out. I need that done. Quickly.
You gotta skip over the fact that they're drafting a backup quarterback. Come on, man, put respect on it. You need the backup quarterback.
To what? You know what I need the backup quarterback to do? Make sure my seat is clean when I get on the plane. Make sure my suits are pressed. Hey, hold that clipboard with all the power you got in your hand and collect your money. Because if I could, you want me to just hold the clipboard and do some hand signals? I got you. I mean, it's a weird time.
Yeah.
It's definitely weird because everybody's getting paid. I mean, we'll see what happens with Julio, and then we'll see how it affects Odell. Because, if the fans tune in early when we were just chit-chatting, we were talking about that. And, talking to you earlier, you brought up a great point. Julio will get signed, and then I feel like that sets Odell's market. And you said the Giants are already like, hey, Odell, don't worry about it. We got the Isaiah Thomas Brinks truck, backing in for you right now. You can have all the boats you want.
Well, and that's another thing, and be fans out there. This is pretty much our free space time. If you have questions, I see you guys saying stuff, but if you have questions about anything, please ask, and we'll touch on it. But going to the Odell situation, like you were saying, the market is out of control because you're basing it off of positions. Mike Evans, right now, second highest paid receiver. Should he be that high? No, he's arguably, you can argue that he's not even in the top 10, that he makes the outside of the 10, but he's paid the second highest money. Brandon Cooks just got a decent contract. There is there's no control. It's just ridiculous.
And then I also think about, you got to look at Antonio Brown making $68 million when he signed his contract.
Right.
I feel like depending on where you're from, who you root for, you've got Antonio, Odell, Julio. Those are the top three. Now, whatever your order you have them in, that's your preference. I'm not arguing about it. I feel like those are the top three. And I don't see how Mike Evans is making more than Antonio Brown when Antonio Brown is the man, doesn't make sense.
Bean's got a question for you. This is I'm going to direct this to you because it's about your team. So hold on tight. Who has the better rookie year, DJ Moore or Ridley?
Calvin Ridley, easy. That's not even. That's not even no disrespect to DJ Moore, no disrespect to Carolina, but if Julio does not act right or does not play right, Calvin Ridley automatically steps into that. I would almost say number one position because the Falcons still have Sanu, but I feel like he almost steps into that. And what DJ Moore has to deal with, he has to deal with Cam and Greg Olsen. Because we know Cam is he's going to throw to Greg Olsen. He's going to get the ball to him. And the other thing, you've still got, for the Carolina, you still got Curtis Samuel, the kid they drafted last year with McCaffrey.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you play him? I mean, there's a lot of question marks, but I'm just saying because Julio Jones may not play, or he may not have a great year, or he may protect himself for free agency or whatever's going to happen, Calvin Ridley will have the better year just because there's a better opportunity for him.
Okay, we got a fan also. The NFL is tough because it's a team game. It's different than the NBA. Yeah, but with that being said, if we have a salary cap, right, and we break it down like, okay, if we're considering this player elite, such as our LeBron James, Kevin Durant players, boom, we know this is their market. Then we go down to the next level. Boom, this is our next guy's market. Then to our guys that we don't even consider our Blake Bortles, boom. And it might control the market that way, I feel like. I don't think it would necessarily be that hard. I don't think it's that, big of a deal to do something like that opposed to the NBA. Now, granted, you do have to pay more people in the NFL, so yeah, you do have to take that in consideration when making your signings, but there's no reason why a position battle should affect an elite player's money. Should Mike Evans right now make more than Le'Veon Bell?
No.
I don't think so, but
no.
It's probably going to happen because he plays wide receiver. So I don't think that should happen. If you break this down, boom, Le'Veon Bell gets paid the elite money, Mike Evans gets the next tier, which, depending on how, if you base it off of the quarterback market, like, for example, even my quarterback, Eli Manning, he had a ridiculous contract. He's not what he used to be, but he's getting this money, So come to the end of it, he's going to make more than Odell because he's a quarterback, Does that make sense? No. Odell's the elite player now. Odell should get the elite money.
That's true. I mean, since we're kind of all over the place, this is the free time. To the fans out there, how you feel about baseball? I mean, the All-Star game was amazing. Bregman brought it home for the American League and stuff like that. It was great to see that. The Home Run Derby was interesting. I liked it. It was fun to watch. I mean,
we got a fan. It's staying football, but does Baker start at all for the Browns this year, or are they going to roll with Tyrod this year, all year?
It would be disrespectful for them not to let Tyrod play the year all the way through, because we've seen what Tyrod can do. Tyrod can win you the game. And then, I mean, right now, as much as I love Baker from the Georgia game, that fiery mentality that, like, we can do this, we can win it all. If I take you and I make you the face of my franchise and you looking like you're ready to go endorse Krispy Kreme, I'm concerned. I'm concerned about your understanding of what we just handed you. We pretty much just said, hey, man, here's the keys. Don't wreck the car.
Well, here's the other thing on top of that. They traded to get Tyrod, who is a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Yes, sir.
You see what I'm saying? So there is no rush. So with these weapons, he never had these weapons, period. The receiving core aspect of it, he did have McCoy, who's a beast, but receiver-wise, he never had these receivers like when he was in Buffalo. So I don't see him struggling. I don't see him in a situation where they feel the need to rush and put Baker in. So I think this year definitely belongs to Tyrod.
Yes,
and it's very possible next year even belongs to Tyrod. You traded to get a Pro Bowl quarterback who definitely can produce. He can move. I'm not trying to say he's elite, but the dude definitely can protect the ball and get the job done. So
yes, sir.
Tyrod or Baker could definitely end up turning into a project where they develop him and then get him in there.
I can see that. I mean, big ups to that. And, you know, that's you can't. All I'm gonna say is, if the fans remember the Buffalo game where they let that rookie quarterback start and he goes in there and throws, 15 interceptions and stuff like that. To me, that would be the same thing all over again for Tyrod, and I don't think Tyrod deserves that.
Yeah.
I mean, is there any other questions, comments, concerns? Hey, is there something?
Tyrod's game is Buffalo's loss. Oh yeah, I definitely think Buffalo is taking an L. And not only, we're definitely getting to talking about Buffalo next week because we're going to hit the AFC East and West. But this McCoy mess, the NFL, they don't know how to punish people. So, you can make an accusation and see someone get suspended. We've seen it with Elliott. So I'm concerned for Buffalo. Who knows what's going to come of this McCoy thing. I haven't seen anything recently. If you guys did, please post it or let us know. But, if hypothetically McCoy misses time, I think Buffalo's got a real concern. You're going to lean on a rookie quarterback without, your top weapon. That's rough.
That is. I mean, for the fans, hey, if you got anything you guys want us to talk about, remember, hit up Everything Sports. That's the page. Leave your comments there. Leave your comments in the chat and stuff like that. Because we really want to make this the best show possible for you guys. Tell your friends, tell your family. I mean, if there's something you don't like or if there's something you want us to talk more about, feel free, because it's, Three Dream Sports. We'll cover what you guys want us to cover. We're trying to be the YouTube ESPN right now. So, I'll be the good-looking Stuart Scott, and Derek can be the other guy,
Wow.
Hey.
Flacco, real quick, this is one. And before I get to this one, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and so we can keep it going. Flacco is injury prone the past few years. You think Rook gets a start in Baltimore, and will he be a poor man's Michael Vick or the second coming of Michael Vick?
Mike Vick.
Well, before you answer that, I just want to throw this out there real quick. Because there is obviously Lamar is the exciting talk of the quarterback. But quarterbacks, we got Flacco there right now, Jackson, and they did also pick RG3 up. So with that being said, floor is yours.
Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. I had to take a quick drink.
Yeah, I understand.
Had to get on that Henny real quick because I don't.
JR in the building.
Hey, got to. Hey, what time is it? Anyways, Flacco has been injury prone and stuff like that, but he's always managed to make it through the season. He's always managed to play, and I don't think they want to rush Jackson, but I don't want to see them as a gimmick play. And as far as the second coming of Michael Vick, that's a lot because Vick was that generational talent. Vick was the guy who made you throw your Madden controller across the room. Vick was the guy that when he touched the ball, you stopped whatever you're doing. Your house could be on fire, and you would be like, wait a minute, kids, we got to watch this play, then we can get out the house. Everything around you going up in smoke. I got to be able to talk about this.
Yeah.
But
I agree with that. Here's the thing. Like I said earlier, they didn't go after Lamar for no reason. And as far as calling him a gimmick, I don't see it because
I didn't say he was a gimmick. I don't want to see him be used as a gimmick.
Using him as that. I don't see them even doing that because they were giving him the first string touches already. I really think they want to move on with him in the future. Now, if Flacco goes down, I think it depends on how fast Lamar is picking this up.
Yes, sir.
And that's why I brought up the fact of RG3 because we've seen a lot of quarterbacks come in and they just can't pick up the playbook and they struggle. So I think that they want to be patient with him, and I think that's why they gave him the reps with the starting team earlier. Get him that feel, let him see how it feels, just in case. But I think if Flacco goes down, it's really possible if they keep him on the team. RG3 comes in, if he's picking it up faster. You know, he's already been in the NFL. He's had some success. Injuries just killed him. So I think that they take their time with him, and I think next year, because it's a contract situation, I think this turns into Lamar's team.
Okay, I can see that. I mean, you know what? I'll agree with that. I like that. You know, I'm not gonna go Stephen A. and tell you to wait a minute. How dare you? Because that makes sense. That's agreeable. And
You got a fan throwing all types of disrespect on RG3 Tar.
I mean, RG3 was just, I felt like he got drafted into a horrible situation with Washington. And then also, eventually, if you're not built like Cam, where you're 6'5", 250, you can just run over people, you got to know when to slide. And
I was
like,
going to say, the dude's like 75 pounds just taking hits. Like,
yeah, you can't do that, you know. And then
I've seen quarterbacks in Ethiopia that look bigger than him.
Pretty much, because you see how as soon as you break the pocket, like you lose that quarterback protection. I mean, like for Cam, he could be standing in the pocket, somebody still could clothesline him, you know, and don't nobody say anything. But I mean, that's how I feel about that. We've got 5 more minutes, you know, for questions, comments. I mean, let us know, like. Take this time to tell us what we're doing well, what you think we need to improve on, because like I said, we want to make this the best show as possible. We want to make sure everybody's enjoying it, everybody's having fun.
So absolutely, and make sure y'all are sharing this for us, man. We definitely want to get out there. We want to blow up. We got plans right now. We have, if you missed the last couple of shows, this has been strictly football, preparing you guys for the preseason games coming up. We've been talking about the divisions as far as the breakdowns. So once this is over, we definitely plan on touching on everything. It's not just a strictly football show, just to clear that up, just in case this is your first time joining. We definitely will be talking about everything. Anything you guys want to talk about, we'll talk about it.
So, I mean, with that being said, I guess, you know, you've got the Kawhi trade going down. They sent him out the country. They said, you can't. We don't even want you in the country. They sent him to Canada. Now he's out there saying he may or may not play for the Raptors. You know, I felt like that was total disrespect to DeMar DeRozan. I felt like if they were going to get rid of anybody, it should have been Lowry. They should have got rid of him. I felt like Rosen was the heart and soul of that team. I felt like he was their Kobe. Like, he wanted to be there forever. I mean, if you look at all the people who left, you got Vince, you got Tracy, you got Chris. You know, they all dipped out, but DeMar never felt like I never felt like DeMar had that issue where, like, he wanted to just go chase rings. Like, I felt like he was going to die a Raptor, and they were going to win. He was going to be there through thick and thin, and that's sad what happened.
Let's not forget what Lowry did to them just 2 seasons ago in the playoffs when they were actually making that push versus Cleveland in the playoffs and actually made LeBron, you know, struggle, and that's why everyone was predicting this series to go Game 7. He sat on the bench because he had a little injury, and it was because he was a free agent that season, and they still signed him. So when he did that, he lost all the respect from me.
Yes, sir.
I would have no hands tried to. First off, I don't think I would have signed him. Your money's more important. Well, I don't need to pick you up. You got DeRozan out here dealing with this Cavs team pretty much alone, and he was handling it. So.
Yes,
I agree with you on that. Let's see what we got going on. Hey, appreciate you, Bean. We got a fan down here, Bean. He's saying, is Bean's got game? He says, great chemistry between you two, knowledgeable answers, and great explanations as to why you feel that way. Also,
thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate the love. They did DeMar dirty. I love the way he plays. We got Jeremy Anderson. Is Kyrie the headache San Antonio is making him out to be? Headache. Here's the thing. San Antonio's always been a quiet organization, you know.
Yes, sir.
So I think I'll say yes, and only because things have gotten out of the organization. I think they would have loved to keep this in-house, but it's not only him. We had players come out and say, oh, he's not being a great player. He should be out here. From what we understand, he's healed up. He should be playing this and that, throwing him under the bus as far as that. So it's a two-way road. I don't think it's just him they're mad at. Of course, he's the superstar, so he's going to get the blunt of the blame, you know. So is he the headache? I'll say yes. He is the headache that they don't want, because when you think about this team, they're a quiet team, and they just go out there and ball, and they get the job done. Hell, Coach Pop don't even like doing interviews. Pop disrespect you and hurt your feelings real quick with just 3 words, and you ain't even ready. So I think so.
Well, I mean, to the fans, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for spending your Sunday afternoon, your Sunday night with us. Thank you for telling your friends, your family, your aunt, your dog, you know, the squirrel that's running around in your yard, telling him. This has been 3 Dream Sports. I'm James Kern. I got my man Derek Martin over there.
Yes, sir.
Quick before we end the show, AFC East, AFC West next week. Also, since we're done with the NFL preview, start throwing your ideas out. Start college basketball is getting ready to start. College football, you know, start throwing your ideas out there. And hey, until next time, 3 Dream Sports. We're gonna get Amanda. We're gonna see if we can start getting things out to the fans and stuff. Shout out to her Facebook page.
Absolutely, we're gonna definitely get some stuff made up for y'all.
All right. Until next time. Matter of fact, hey, 5 o'clock next 5 o'clock next Sunday, 7 your time. That work for everybody?
Hey.
All right. We'll see you then.
All right, guys.